Alright, I'm coining MKBHD here, but good IEMs are getting cheap, and cheap IEMs are getting good. So just to let you know though, LINSOUL did send out the Blon X HBB Z300s to review. But that doesn't affect my opinions in any way. So some general thoughts about it is that it does like power. When I was using it with my iPhone and the Apple dongle, I had to turn it up quite a bit. I would say a little bit more than my Polaris 2. I'm not saying that I had to crank it to max, but I did notice that it definitely liked more power than what I'm used to with my other IEMs. And that is definitely the same with my IE Magni. You just might have to crank up the volume a little bit more than you normally would. Now, the one biggest flaw about this IEM, and I mean, it's really not a big deal, is the cable. But I mean, you gotta remember, and I told myself, bro, this is a $40 IEM. It's not like this is some multi-$1,000 IEM that should probably come with a good cable. It is only $40. So I wouldn't say it's the most atrocious cable in the world. It's actually pretty fine if you're more so stationary and more so listening at a desk. I found it really wasn't a problem at all when I was listening like that. But I did go on some walks with it, and the cable does like to wrap around and crinkle up a bit, but I did notice if I left the cable out straight, it did get quite a bit better. So if you do plan on using this IEM for walks, I definitely recommend laying it out for a few nights, or maybe just getting a different cable. But then again, I mean, $40, how much do you really want to spend on a cable? Now, this isn't a fault of the IEM, this is just because my ears are really weird, but I did have to replace the stock tips. I do use Dakoni foam ear tips for every single IEM that I use. But alright, with all that being said, let's get to how it sounds. So just to let you know again, I did most of my listening with my iPhone and its Apple dongle, and just a little bit with my IE Magni. So I would say it's a bit on the warmer side and a little bit dark, but not veiled. Male vocals, I will say, was pushed back a bit, and where this IEM truly shines in my opinion is with female vocals. I do listen to quite a lot of stuff, but it mostly comes down to like what my mood is at the moment. Now, I did find myself listening to a lot of pop and rap with this IEM. Not really so much metal and rock, which I do like to listen to a lot, but more on the sides that sound more bass heavy. But I wouldn't really say this IEM is a bass cannon. It's not really going to please like the most die-hard bass heads. It does have a nice bump in that range. So if you do like a bit of bass, I don't think you will necessarily be disappointed here, but it's definitely not going to blow your brains out when it comes to bass. Mids are quite smooth, male vocals are pushed back a bit, but like I said, it really shines with female vocals. Stuff like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Gargura, Amatsuka, Uto, but also music from Dax, NF, B-Murph. I did enjoy quite a lot too. And the highs, I mean, this is definitely not your IEM if you really love your highs. Not really saying that they're like, you know, not there at all, but they don't really sparkle and shine as much as other things that I heard. They're a little bit softened, but I wouldn't say they're totally muted. Now, I'm personally somebody who used the HD800 for years, so that's kind of like how I see the pinnacle of highs. But then again, that is a $1,000 headphone versus like a $40 IEM. I'm not saying that it should live up to it. So I would say highs is definitely the weakest point when it comes to these IEMs. But I wouldn't say that's a deal breaker by any means. This IEM is really not meant for like classical and stuff. I would say it's more so for like modern music. Now, detail and separation, I will say, definitely did surprise me a little bit. I was really not expecting the level that it had for like $40 especially. It's definitely not winning any award, but it is definitely nice and quite pleasant that everything didn't just sound like all mushed together or anything. It did have a fair good bit of separation between the instruments. The soundstage didn't really impress me all that much, but it didn't feel like I was really claustrophobic with it. So overall impressions of this IEM is very high. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I didn't really have any complaints besides just the cable wrapping up a little bit. But like I said, there's an easy fix to it, and on a desktop, it really isn't that big of a problem. And speaking about the desktop setup, the IE Magni emoji bit that I use, there's not really a lot to comment about it besides the fact that, you know, everything I said is pretty much enhanced a little bit. It definitely doesn't scale super high. Then again, are you really gonna use a $40 IEM on a Core Dave or something like that? Probably not, but I mean, you do you. If you want to buy these for like a Core Dave or a WA5, I mean, you do you. So for $40, it definitely gives you a good package. Very, very solid build. Honestly, a lot better than most things, especially at this price point. And it gives you a non-offensive sound signature that's really just easy to listen to for hours on end. So if you're just getting into the hobby, $40 for this IEM, you really can't go wrong with it. And if you're looking for your newest toy and just just want something cheap and fun, I definitely say that you should give this a shot. So LINSOUL, again, thank you so much for reaching out and sending these out to review. I definitely did have fun testing them out. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like and consider subscribing, I would really appreciate that. Hope you all have a fantastic day, night, evening, morning, whatever the hell time it is for you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.